You can support In the Past Lane with a donation via Patreon or PayPal. Just go to inthepastlane.com and click on support. Thanks.
Whoa, hit the brakes. You've arrived at the #1 drive-by for American history. Welcome to The Pit Stop. Brought to you by In the Past Lane, the podcast about history and why it matters. Here's Edward T. O'Donnell, your host and historian at large.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to The Pit Stop, your Monday morning source for history on the go in just about 5 minutes. We offer this mini feature every Monday, in addition to our regular full feature episodes. Here's what happened in American history the week of June 18th, 2018. Let's start with birthdays. June 22nd is the birthday of the gangster John Dillinger, who was born in Indianapolis, Indiana in 1903. He became nationally famous as a gangster and bank robber in the 1930s, that is until July 1934, when he was gunned down by the FBI in Chicago after he exited a movie theater. June 22nd is also the birthday of Mildred Loving, who was born in 1939. She's the African-American woman who married a white man and became part of a landmark Supreme Court case, Loving v. Virginia, that declared in 1967 that state laws that prohibited interracial marriage were unconstitutional. June 23rd is the birthday of Alfred Kinsey, who was born in Hoboken, New Jersey in 1894. Kinsey was a biologist who published landmark and highly controversial studies on human sexuality in the late 1940s and early 1950s. June 24th, 1842 is the birthday of one of my favorite American writers, Ambrose Bierce, who was born in Meigs County, Ohio. He was a writer, a journalist, and a poet. And these days, Ambrose Bierce is remembered primarily as the author of The Devil's Dictionary, a delightful compendium of hundreds of words with snarky satirical definitions such as lawyer, noun, one skilled in the circumvention of the law, or pray, verb, to ask the laws of the universe to be annulled on behalf of a single petitioner confessedly unworthy. And history, noun, an account, mostly false, of events, mostly unimportant, which are brought about by rulers, mostly knaves, and soldiers, mostly fools. I highly recommend you pick up a copy of The Devil's Dictionary. It's just so much fun. June 24th, 1901 is the birthday of Chuck Taylor, who was born in Brown County, Indiana in 1901. He was a basketball player way back in the early days of the game, and eventually went to work for Converse, one of the first important sneaker manufacturers in those days. Eventually, after he made many suggestions to improve their best-selling basketball sneaker, Chuck Taylor's name was put on that sneaker, the Converse All-Star, which is still on sale these days, largely as a fashion item. This week is the birthday of two famous American inventors. June 21st, 1834 was the birthday of Cyrus McCormick, who invented the mechanical reaper, a device that revolutionized American agriculture. And June 23rd, 1819 was the birthday of Christopher Sholes, who invented the typewriter. How about events and anniversaries? Well, June 18th, 1983, that's when astronaut Sally Ride became the first woman in space, taking off on Space Shuttle Challenger. June 19th, 1865 is Juneteenth. It all began when Union General Gordon Granger read General Order No. 3 to a gathering of enslaved people. Quote, "The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States, all slaves are free. This involves an absolute equality of personal rights and rights of property between former masters and slaves." Ever thereafter, June 19th, or Juneteenth as it became known, has been observed by African Americans as a day to celebrate their liberation. And you can learn more about the story of emancipation in the Past Lane episodes 20 and 68. June 20th, 1893, Lizzie Borden was acquitted after one of the most sensational trials of the late 19th century. The jury took just 90 minutes to declare the young woman not guilty of murdering her father and stepmother with an axe, despite the fact that there was ample evidence that, more or less, as the ditty goes, Lizzie Borden took an axe and gave her father 40 whacks, and when she saw what she had done, she gave her mother 41. June 21st, 1877, 10 alleged members of the Molly Maguires were hanged in Pennsylvania. The Mollies were a secret society of Irish immigrant coal miners in Pennsylvania that was alleged to have carried out acts of violence against abusive mine managers and overseers. Okay, time for the last word. Let's give it to astronaut Sally Ride, who made history this week way back in 1983 as the first woman in space. I never went into physics or the astronaut corps to become a role model. But after my first flight, it became clear to me that I was one, and I began to understand the importance of that to people. Young girls need to see role models in whatever careers they may choose, just so they can picture themselves doing those jobs someday. You can't be what you can't see. Okay, people, that's your history fix for the week. Time to put it in drive and go make your own history.